And we are live.
Peace, prosperity, salutations. Another week of real life, real talk with Brother John, myself, Yarima Karama. Woo! We just keep on moving. The train
Man,
keeps trucking. How you doing, John?
man, it's summer is almost gone, man. It's August.
Yeah, right,
I'm like,
right.
man, where did the time go? But yeah,
Yeah.
man, it's they playing games and maybe they're moving the clock up on us. I don't know. But
Well, I think time has sped up. From kind of a spiritual standpoint and coming into the this leg of age of Aquarius,
yeah,
because a lot of people are saying, "Wow, it seems like time is going by. Doesn't it seem like it's faster?" And that's not by coincidence. Same thing with the Mandela effect. I think those are things that we could probably talk about for a future
yeah.
segment, but. Yeah, there's some interesting things going on the planet.
I even saw something where the scientists said time the actual time itself had speeded up. The way they.
Yeah,
But yeah, just I mean, just from a personal point of view, man. Just just watching. Like I remember my grandson when he was little, man, and now he's like 22. I
yeah,
like, man, what happened? What
right, exactly.
time just flies. Time keeps on searching, and keeps on moving into the future. So
Yep. Time keeps on slipping, slipping,
yeah,
slipping.
I think.
Yeah. So they got a lot of things going on
Oh man,
globally with things with the weather, flooding, uh, floods across. I
Mhm.
know that there was something across that came yesterday talking about, pray for Milwaukee because apparently
Okay.
there's flooding going on up there.
The flood, and
Um,
then we had the floods in Texas.
Yeah, yeah. New Jersey, New York. So,
The one in Texas, man, there had been some company that had been doing cloud seeding. And
mm,
so it's if you don't know that they can manipulate the weather by now,
yeah,
they may not be able to control it, but they can definitely manipulate it.
yeah,
And we know about the HARP project,
yes.
and so yeah, it's and it takes me back to that old commercial, that used to say, "It's not nice to fool Mother Nature."
Right, right. Well, I did this, I think we did the segment years ago. We were talking about how, and it was a dude out of Chicago standing on a roof saying that they make clouds.
Yeah. Well,
And, oh, go ahead.
no, no, it's been proven that they can manipulate the weather. They had a treaty was signed to for nations not to do it. So why would they have that treaty if they couldn't do it?
Exactly. Exactly. I think they specifically had that treaty with Russia that in time of war that they would not use weather manipulation as a form, but um, the U.S. has never they haven't stuck to one treaty. I don't think, especially when it comes to original people of the planet. So
Right.
they just can't be trusted.
No. And
And to imagine,
speaking of that, they've got this big meeting coming up in Alaska with Putin, and that's what they were saying. How can anybody trust the United States? If every treaty they've gone on, they've had, we've backed out on it. And even when they had that what they call the Minsk agreement, they I don't know if they slipped up and said it, but the lady from Germany, said that we never intended to uphold the meeting the treaty. We just signed it so we could give Ukraine more time to get to strengthen themselves.
yeah,
And they
yeah,
and they said that. So this, yeah, it's we are I wouldn't say we, they, the people that call the shots are definitely not doing them in our favor.
yeah. And then, and on an off subject, but still kind of on the same wave, John. They got and I know we were big on it back in the day, but it seems to be they got new episodes out on Black Mirror
Black
or
Mirror.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. I've seen those.
yeah, it was interesting. I was and I talked about this in a live the other day, but this one segment I was looking at. this wife has a brain aneurysm or something happens where
And
she
they
passes
and the
out.
husband wants to keep her alive.
Yes, yeah.
And
And they
then
go through this app.
yeah. And he got to pay. Yeah, that was, but that was so realistic, man, about of how corporations do things. They
Yes,
yeah, okay, you get this for $300, and then you try to go somewhere. Oh, well, we didn't tell you about that. Now you got to pay this to go further out. And
yes,
it was crazy, man. That's like, damn, they just showing you, man. They just showing it to you right out in plain sight.
yes. If people haven't seen that, they should take a view of that episode. And it's got Diana Ross's daughter. I think her
Yeah,
name is Ellis
yeah.
Rice or something, Ellis or something like that. But she's a main character in there. So, but yeah, it just par for the course on how corporatocracy is taking over and how AI is starting to take
Hmm.
over. It's taking jobs. Um, People are being laid off, and things of that nature. So
Yeah, yeah, it was that. Yeah, that one was crazy, man.
yeah,
You could upgrade, keep upgrading. Well, yeah, you can get this, but this is an upgrade.
yeah.
But
And then if you can't upgrade, now this was this man's wife.
yeah,
So if he couldn't upgrade, she couldn't. Eventually, there was coming a point. Well, and then it got to the point at the end where he had to just let her go because and I don't want to ruin the story for those who haven't seen it, but it was just like that's that's the earth that we live on right now. Like, um, and I said it before, like the movies are no longer something that we have to look to the future. Oh, this is coming. Like the Hunger Games, that's here
yeah,
right now.
that's
RoboCop is happening. We see robotic dogs and robotic humans that they're or not robots, but or humans, I mean, but robots that they are training. They're doing flips in warehouses and
mhm,
things like that. And so we don't have to wait on the movies. They're here. We're living the movie right now.
yeah, yeah. That and one more thing out of that one Black Mirror episode where you could take was it a shot or do something and change your mood.
Yes.
You can go,
Yes.
like boost your mood up higher, and I was like, wow, man.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we're on a brave new world. And
Yeah.
that was so those two books, Orwell 84 and A Brave New World. Well, in A Brave New World, the story was that people were going to be they were going to have people drugged, for lack of a better word. They were going to be drugged in the society, and they were going to enjoy it. They, instead of like in 84 where the state was controlling and crushing you, and Brave New World, they're going to use uh, drugs to control you.
Yeah. And we and
So,
we can see that too. We can see
yeah,
that too.
it's all playing out.
Yeah, they have a and it's probably a few places in the US, but particularly like Philadelphia, I friend of mine, he walks through there in videos where this one area is like the
Look,
people are leaning, they're slumped. It's drug
yeah,
and they're
I've
drugs. It's
I've seen
drugs.
those, man. Yeah, it's like, yeah,
It's very disturbing.
yeah, and on top of that, we send all this money. I don't know how many billions of dollars we've sent to Ukraine, and not on top of the billions of dollars we send to that other little country that
Yeah,
nobody can mention. But oh, they've been catching heat, man. The stuff that's been going on in the war, in the Middle East and Gaza,
yeah,
that kind of stuff, and people are speaking out now. And back in the day, and maybe even like last year, you couldn't say anything without getting canceled.
yes,
But now people are waking up, and they are starting to realize this is not our ally.
yes,
And we'll see where it goes. But I think they've played that card one too many times, and
yeah,
the people ain't going for it. And now you see the administration, and it goes across administrations. They had some bill they were trying to, parties. They were trying to fund Israel further. So everybody voted for it except for two Republicans and two Democrats.
mm,
And you can say what you want to say about your girl Marjorie Taylor Greene, but she's been on them like hotcakes as far as sending money to Israel. So, you like I always say, you got to take what you need and leave the rest.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah.
you can't agree with everybody on everything, but when you find points you can agree on, then you have to stand on that. And it's just a shame that we can't get we have people in this country that need stuff, that need things, the infrastructures. And, we got like a third world infrastructure. When you go and look at like an airport in over in the Philippines or somewhere or
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia, their stuff looks like the Jetsons.
Oh, absolutely.
And like you were just mentioning in Philadelphia, you go look at a subway in New York, you got rats and trash. And so the money's going somewhere. It's not going to the American people.
No, I actually got a friend over in Asia right now, and they got whole football fields on top of their mall, on top.
Yeah.
Like they got running tracks and things where you can go on top of the mall and watch a soccer game. You can
Mm.
go or football. You can go on top of the mall and work out and do your exercising and run a full track like you would see here in the U.S. So they're definitely making advancements for their people in those countries. And there's things that he was showing me like, wow, just phenomenal. And that could easily be done here, but when you have such like there was something recently that was like, and it was interesting the number of people that were against it. But it was basically like eight men in the world have more money than over 4 billion people.
Yeah.
8 men have more money than 4 billion people. And people were like, oh, you shouldn't be blaming those 8 men. And just the idiocracy in that. And I'm thinking to myself, first of all, we live on this planet together. What made them 8 men so special that they control, that they have that amount of money and resources to control global populations of people? Because that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And you're fine with that because money is going to set policy. They don't have to be politicians.
Mm-mm.
Their money will dictate what politicians do. What did the Rothschilds say? I don't care who runs the country, just let me control the
Let me
banks.
control the money.
Yeah. And and so unless there's a redistribution of the wealth, unless because there's enough here for us all.
Yeah.
In actuality, it's the greed of man that says, no, I want to control and hoard. There's enough for everybody to live well on this planet.
Yeah. And, when people always say, "Oh, I don't support redistribution of capital," but it happens all of the time. But it always goes the other way. It never goes to us. Like in
Mhm.
2008, the housing crisis. They created that problem. And
Yeah,
then they bailed out, the banks got bailed out, and they still foreclosed on people's homes. In a truly capitalist society, there is no too big to fail. If you make a bad business decision and go out of business or lose a lot of money, are they going to bail you out?
no.
No, you just out.
Yeah.
But that's how they do it. So we don't live in a capitalist. We're more like a quasi socialist country. We're not a true capitalist society.
Mm-hmm.
And like you say, the fact that those 8 men can have that much money,
Mm-hmm.
how did they get it? What did they do to acquire it? And a lot of times when you start looking at those details, you'll find out they did some dirty stuff.
Yeah,
They weren't on the up and up to get there. And
exactly.
we always have those stories of, oh, they created this in their basement. All of a sudden, boom, I'm in my basement and Apple comes up, or Amazon. No, they that's not how it happened.
No, no. And a prime example of that, a prime example of having that amount of money and having the ability to do damage is a Bill Gates, where you can have that amount of money go to India, get banned from India because you've maimed some of the people that you've shot your vaccine or your uh 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 you know your test
Test, yeah,
vaccines onto people. Same thing in South Africa. People got maimed, people died to the point where this man got banned from India
Hmm.
and I think just got reinstated. So that's what power, that's what money can leverage, is that you can go into a country and use people as test subjects for your particular thing that you're trying to push.
Under the cover of philanthropy.
Yeah.
And now you see what he's trying to do with butter.
Yes.
And I mean, this dude, he was a poor programmer at best. So now
Yes.
he's got this ability to block out the sun. He needs to block the sun or create mosquitoes, uh, genetically modified mosquitoes, and release those into the environment. And then this latest thing, he bought up all the farmland. Now he's trying to do this thing with butter. I forgot, but it was basically going to make a fake butter.
Yeah.
I mean, why? Nobody's asking him to do that.
Exactly.
And so what gives him the right to force that upon people? Because he's got the money to do it.
Yep. Exactly.
And,
Exactly.
and that whole money thing, the the Epstein thing, they've just been shooting holes in that whole story. They had that one video that said where, or the story that, you could see him coming up and down. I think CBS, one of them did a story where it shows that that wasn't true. Somebody could have gotten in there without being seen.
Hmm.
And the guy that was his roommate, a cellmate or whatever, that he was like an ex-cop, had been jailed for something, but they think that's who, if he was killed, that's who they think killed him. But
Yeah.
I don't think he was killed. I don't think he was ushered out of there, and he's over in his hometown, because his home country rather, protected.
Mm. Yeah.
And now Trump, that whole party, that whole thing, we're going to release the files. We're going to release the files.
Hmm.
And suddenly the files were on the desk, waiting to go through them. And then they went from that to, there are no files.
Yeah. Well, what's so funny about the whole thing that the American people need to get is that the demon rats, they didn't want to release the files.
No, yeah,
But now they want them released because they can prove Trump's is on there. But when they were in power, they didn't want to release the files.
yeah.
Trump said he'll release them. Now he don't want to. Come on. If y'all can't see the games here,
It's too many people on either side and outside that will be affected by that.
yeah,
And I heard another twist that that really Israel is the one controlling that file or whatever. So if the files are exposed, they lose their grip
yeah,
on power. And watching some of these politicians, man, I was watching this one rally. They were in Nebraska or somewhere, I think, and the people were shouting them down. Do you support genocide? And why can't we have Medicaid? And they were trying to cutting Medicaid for Americans, but sending billions of dollars overseas.
yeah,
And so the people that actually voted for that, for Trump, or some of them are waking up. They're starting to see that his big beautiful bill, and when, like we always say, who would call something that anyway? That dude, man,
yeah.
he's like a street thug almost. And
He is.
yeah.
I
But
mean, he is the street thug, the street thug. I mean, if you're not a thug of his cloth, you really can't, he's gonna mistreat you, he's gonna do a bunch of stuff. Trump's the same way. If you're not in the entertainment business, he pretty much is not hearing you. I
yeah.
mean, we would have a better chance of sending the Kardashian or somebody in the industry to talk to him than because he's got that's his thug arena there.
Yeah. Yeah,
So.
man. But yeah, shifting gears, man. We've been hearing a lot of different stories about AI coming out,
Hmm.
and I was listening to this one story, looking at this one story where this programmer was told AI they were gonna, shut it down and build a upgrade, and the AI tried to figure out how it could blackmail the CEO in order to keep them, in order to keep itself alive in air quotes or functioning or whatever. And then I saw
Mm.
another one where this AI had wiped out the company's whole database of wiped out a database in the company. So
Mm.
it's like you were saying in the movies. This when we start giving these AIs all of this control, first thing they're gonna realize is humans are the problem.
Yep. Well, and then they got a story. I mean, AI robots. They got this story out of China. Scientists from China and the U.S. just unveiled a real-life T-1000, a
Hmm,
shape-shifting robot made from magnetic liquid metal that can melt, flow through barriers, and reform like nothing happened.
hmm.
This gallium-based marvel slips through tight spaces, escapes cages like liquid Houdini, climbs walls, swims, and even heals itself.
So
And the wildest part, it could one day perform surgery inside your body without cutting you open.
who made was that China? China made that?
China and the US is working
Oh
on
yeah.
this. And this is yeah, because it's a liquid metal robot that melts, escapes its cage and reforms itself. So this is something that they saw happen or that they made happen. I'm not, Uh, they say that as long as there's a button to turn it off, we're good. But if you got an AI that can actually think about, bribing the head of a company, I don't know. I don't know if it can be turned off.
We are fast approaching, I think, the point of no return, man. It's we got the militarization of Washington D.C. now. They got federal troops taking over
Mm,
because well, this is what I heard that or saw that the one of the guys who worked at Doge was trying to protect someone from a carjacking or something. He got beat up pretty bad. So that was, I guess, the straw that pushed the camel's back. But I don't think that's what they're really going for. They're building all of these the alligator, what is the alligator Alcatraz? I
hmm
was just in Indianapolis this weekend. They're building this. I think they call it the Hoosier Slammer or something, some crazy name they gave it. But another large detention facility for illegals or whatever, immigrants, whatever you want to call them. But at some point, you know, when they fill those up and get rid of those people, who's next?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, when you look at the demographics of the country right now, and I'm starting to hear more cases of, black truck drivers coming up missing. I have a truck driver friend, a couple of friends in the industry, and they're saying that, yeah, that's definitely real. More children are being snatched again, more black children. That not that that ever stopped, but um, there's definitely a wedge that is being created, and that's a real concern, John. After they go after all of them, who's next? And we know the answer to that. It's us.
Yeah.
It's black people in this country. Um, and I said it years ago, and I'll say it again. We have the ability to save ourselves or walk ourselves right back into slavery. One of those two, because when those immigrants are gone, technology itself can't sustain as far as feeding a population of people. And
Right.
I know Bill Gates, he's on that. How can you manipulate? Because that's what he's doing. How can you make meat with synthetic meat and all this other stuff? And but as it stands right now, somebody's got to work
Yeah.
those fields. Somebody's got to, and
Well, yeah, Trump. I
uh,
mean, he even said, came out and said, "Oh, we gotta help the farmers and the I guess hotel workers or whatever. Nobody was there to do the work.
Yeah.
you know, and the fact that we hadn't touched on that, but these ICE agents running around with masks on, just grabbing people off the street. I think I saw some story where they grabbed a guy who was an actual citizen and shipped him off before they f figured out what was going on.
Yeah.
And this, like I said, this is not America, man. This, well, I guess it's the America they created, but it's things are really getting out of hand from some of the stuff that we used to talk about, you know, prepping and watch watching out
Yeah.
for this, that, and the other thing. And a lot of that stuff is starting to happen, man. It is, they are slowly pushing everybody to the edge.
Yes.
And with these policies, I don't know if they're doing it on purpose or if they just are blind to the fact that they don't live in the same world we live in. The politicians, they don't, remember, who was it, Romney? He went to some place, he couldn't even figure out how to run the checkout. They
Right.
they they just don't live in the real world, man, and they're so used to this little cocoon that they live in that and the people that supported them, were Democrat or Republican, are starting to wake up and say, look, this is not working.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not work. It's not working for us. It may be working fine for you, but we people can't afford this, can't afford that. That story that their $400 emergency would a lot of families couldn't even handle that.
Exactly. Exactly. And here's the thing that there's so many people that are still asleep. There's people waking up, true enough, but
Yeah.
there's so many people that are still asleep. I, if this happens anyplace else, and I'm not saying, there's this story about all these CEOs, ex-CEOs that just passed,
Yeah, I
that
saw that.
died within a certain amount of, and
Like,
and people were saying like, oh, people die, they get old, and it's like, yeah, but not, come on. All of these, like, it would be different if you were just talking about, if you were mixing in some everyday citizens in there,
yeah,
but these are all people of wealth and need,
yeah, billionaires.
yeah. And so, well, people die. I'm not going for it. I'm just not.
Nah,
I'm not.
yeah, I don't, yeah, I don't know what's, I don't want to make any speculations, but you
Well, I
know,
mean, let's take a quick listen.
Founder of Leprino Foods, dead June 19th, 2025. Bernard Lauder, CEO, billionaire philanthropist, dead June 14th, 2025. Frederick Smith, former CEO of FedEx, dead June
mm,
21st, 2025. Billionaire Burton Tansky, dead March 16th, 2025. Billionaire Robert Shapiro, dead May 2nd, 2025.
mm,
Former CEO of Hasbro, Alan Hassenfield, dead July 8th, 2025. Blackstone executive Wesley LePatner, 43 years old, dead July 2025. Junior Bridgman, billionaire, dead March 11th, 2025. Joshua Pickles, DoorDash executive, dead June 21st, 2025. Milestone CEO, dead June 2025. Jim Irsay, dead May 21st, 2025. He was the CEO and owner of the Indianapolis Colts. You think all of these are a coincidence?
mm,
All of them? What's your big idea?
And that,
yeah, yeah. Well, I would say
and
Ursay was pretty old, but the rest of those people on that list,
yeah.
I mean, and even still, uh, yeah. And you remember? Did you remember that the recent shooting where the guy went said he was trying to had played in the NFL or something, and he did really didn't play in the NFL. He went up and shot up someplace. Thought he was shooting up the NFL, but he actually shot up a Black Rock office.
Oh, yes, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
And then on that same around that same time, there was a story of this guy got set, got they doused him with gas and set him on fire in his office. And he was who's he with? Man, I forgot. But yeah, it wasn't, what they said it was.
Hmm.
But there was some twist to that story too. And then, we had these recent other shootings. I think there was one in Atlanta the other day,
Mm.
you know. So yes, something is brewing, man. Something is brewing. I don't know what it is, but it's probably not going to be good for an everyday American.
Well, either these people are they're Epsteining them, taking them out to some island, hiding them off, or they were going to talk and they got them out of the way before they could. It's one of those things where okay, this person has information, they've been on the inside. Yeah, let's get them out of the way. That's how the mob used to operate. Let's whack them.
Yeah,
And so these criminals, because that's what I call them, they're criminals. They operate no different than these criminal
and the
organizations.
mob.
They
Yeah,
just don't.
and it's crazy too, man. It's just like people they end up suiciding, and they have left statements that I'm not suicidal. I, you know, but they were involved in some, they had the ability to bring whoever down, or or
Yeah.
tell the truth about the subject, and all of a sudden they wind up dead, conveniently. And we still just sit back and say, oh, okay, yeah, that just happened, that was an accident. But it's not. It's not that many coincidences.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
And we Americans, for whatever reason, man, like the man said, just give them some beer and some football, and and they'll be entertained, and that is true to a certain extent, man. Like you say, people are waking up, but we're not doing it fast enough, and I think that's what this quickening is happening. The elites, or whoever you want to call them, realize that the game is getting people are getting hip to the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like one guy said, these people, they see they see the likelihood of anything except any of them going to jail. They will burn this place to the ground before they actually get arrested, or go to jail for whatever.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And I don't, for all the Epstein talk, I even think that that's a distraction. I
Yeah.
think that for real, they don't really care about any of that. Because it's like at the end of the day, I was thinking about it and it was like, at the end of the day, what are you going to do about it? Anyway.
Hmm.
If you got a guy in the presidential seat right now who, by all accounts, many feel like shouldn't even be there. He's a felon,
Best
and
friend of
so
Epstein.
yeah, and so if I was on the Epstein tape, what are you gonna do about it? Like,
Hey, here you go. This is one too, man. Check this out.
Memo and released yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former labor secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the
Yeah, sure. If
Hey,
I
Pam,
could,
could I just interrupt for
Sure.
1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
You see how he interrupted?
yes,
Are we still talking about Epstein? And that goes back to that old saying, I think you protest too much.
He immediately wanted to get away from that conversation, and
And
he switched it immediately. Actually, if you it was a good move on his part because he now we're back to the floods in Texas. Do you
hmm
see what happened?
yeah,
So now you let's get the focus back on sympathizing with Texas and get the spotlight off of me because I'm a yeah pedophile.
and and even on that, man, he remember did you hear they said that speaking of the floods that if a city or state was trying to boycott Israel and they had a natural disaster that he would cut off funds to that company, to that country, to that state or city if they were part of the BDS or boycott and divest movement from Israel.
Yeah,
So because you can't now we can boycott any state in the United States or any business in the United States if you want to, but
exactly.
you can't you can't boycott a foreign country. That tells you how much control they must have over these people. I mean, what kind of what do they have? What are they hanging over their head? And I think we know what that is.
Yep,
That makes them so, almost psychopathic in their um, believing of what they're being told. We see all these stories coming out of Gaza, and we still have people that are trying to uh, justify what's happening. Oh
yeah,
well, October 7th. That was one day. They had been brutalized for like 50 years prior to that,
exactly.
and it's going, and even the original um, setup of how it was supposed to be, it never happened. There was supposed to have been a two state. I had a clip that I'll insert in here later that they had a big they assassinated Yitzhak Rabin. He had a huge peace rally and was trying to get peace in the Middle East and between the Arabs and Palestinians or Arabs and Jews and he was assassinated. And the people in the crowd they blamed the Bibi Netanyahu for they were pointing the finger at him as being behind this because they don't want peace.
No, they don't.
Peace doesn't serve their purpose.
Exactly. That part. Exactly. Exactly. They don't want peace here in this country.
No,
They don't want it. They
they
put out the subtle propaganda. They like us fighting.
yeah
They really like us fighting because then the target, they're no longer the target because they're the minority at the end of the day. So
yeah,
in order to keep power, you have to keep the people divided.
and that's what we call that the Hegelian dialectic.
Yep.
D-
Problem, reaction, solution.
Divide and conquer, and that's how it works.
Yep. Exactly.
But hopefully, like I say, we can keep get making people aware of stuff. I was talking to somebody the other day, man, and I was trying to explain to them the whole how Israel thing got started, and I was taking them back. I don't want to know the history. I don't need to know that. I said, well, you can't understand the issue if you don't know the history.
Right.
If
Exactly.
you taking it from this point forward and not looking at what has happened 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago, you don't even know. You have no foundation for your argument.
Exactly.
And that's what gets me with a lot of people. They don't want to know the history. I don't want to I don't care. I don't want to know that. I don't need to know that. And we have an attention span of zero these days. Um, but yeah, and I didn't used to listen to her a lot, but I've been listening to Candace Owens,
Oh, brilliant.
and yeah, yeah,
Even though I didn't like her, but I mean, her mind, she's starting to wake up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. She but when she left that the company she was working with, the Shapiro guy, she has finally realized what's going on with the issue in with Israel, and she's just been on them, man. I think she won. She said she won an award the other day. She was the number one anti-Semite. She said, I won. And you're like, yeah, I mean, she's very articulate in what she says and puts it out. And like I said, I don't agree with everything she says, but I don't agree with everything anybody says.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you see someone that's actually taking a point on where we can agree with, yeah, okay. And you know, she's I don't know if you know, she's got this lawsuit from the president of France. Now, how many just she's a regular citizen.
Yeah.
She's being sued by the president of another country.
Mm,
She even had the that Macron from France. He had Trump call Candace to tell him to tell her to you know, kind of ease up on the an investigation because she's saying that his wife is a man and was born a man, and
mm,
she actually met him. If it's a she, he was 14 and she was his teacher. And they got married or had a relationship or whatever. So
hmm.
that just goes from right there. That's you know that's weird. You're 14
Right,
and
right.
having a relationship with your teacher and her parents. You know their parents took him away, but somehow. So yeah, so that's going on now. So it'll be interesting to see how this turns out. But if somebody comes up to me and says, I don't think you're a man, okay, it'll be pretty easy to prove.
Right. Yeah, that's a simple fix right there.
It's
Yeah,
e-
let's
it's pretty easy to prove which way
yeah,
you are, you know. So the fact that they're
exactly.
going through all of this, you know, this PR, you know, they had a guy on CNN doing an interview, and this guy turns out he was an attorney. He has defended pedophiles. In this one case,
Mm,
the family, um, the husband was abusing the child, their daughter, and he was calling it a happy incest. That's how he framed it. So this is the guy who's representing the Macrones. Yeah, and it seemed like every case that guy has been involved in had some type of pedophile or something to do with of something of
mm,
that ilk. So yeah,
wow.
so the trial's coming up or the case is coming up, I guess. But yeah, she's not backing down. She's like, and like I was saying, if it would be an easy fix or an
Yeah,
easy item to prove.
exactly.
So yeah, you know, so like I said, yeah, I when I first ran across her, yeah, she was doing the typical what we call shuck and jive. I won't say that word. They will get that C
Yeah,
word.
yeah,
that,
yeah,
I think I said that about Steve Harvey one time, and they blocked me.
yeah. Right, 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 right.
But
We
yeah,
know
but
what that
but
word is.
I think she's coming around a little bit, and you know, like I said, if that's what she's on, hey, I'm down with that. But you know, it's and it's crazy, man. It's just you know, one other thing. I was watching this. I went back. I started watching this old TV series. My
Hmm.
mom used to watch it all the time. It's called In the Heat of the Night.
Yes, I
It,
remember
it,
that.
it was based on a movie that Sidney Poitier was in. But they called me Mr. Tibbs. But there was this one episode. OJ is in it, and OJ is running for like he was running for like office, a political office or something. And of course, the Klan or somebody was after him. So now this is the twist. OJ, they end up killing OJ, but guess how they killed him? They strangled him with barbed wire and almost decapitated him.
Okay.
His wife was almost decapitated.
Right.
I mean, I don't know what that means. It's just crazy, man. There's the OJ was in
Wow.
he was in that episode and he gets killed and he's almost decapitated.
Mm. I remember Heat of the Night too. Yeah, that was a wow. I didn't know that. I didn't see that segment.
Yeah, I didn't either. I hadn't really, I never did, I didn't watch it back then when it was on. My mom used to watch it all the time.
Yeah,
And I said, okay, I see why
they
she liked that.
always put it in movies.
Yeah,
They
man.
always
When I
put
saw that, I
it.
said, damn, OJ, and I was surprised to see him in there in the first place.
Yes, yes.
And then for him to die and die almost in the exact same way that his wife would die later
Wow.
in real life.
Yeah,
So,
that's
like a man said, all the world's a stage, man. The,
yeah,
uh, and
yeah,
there was a song Sheik wrote it. Sheik, but
yeah,
at the I can't remember the exact word, but but at the end of the song he says, "The world's a circus. Don't you be the clown,"
yeah, yeah.
or something like that.
Like that.
But yeah, he said, "All the world's a circus. Don't you be the clown."
Exactly.
And back then I didn't think nothing of it, but now it's like, wow. They tell you, man. They just
They
it
put
just
it out there for you.
comes out and tell you.
They put it out there. Indeed.
So
Wow.
what's up on
Lot.
before we go, man? You got a big video shoot coming up, don't you?
Yeah, we'll shoot a couple videos from my latest album, Conscious Chaos. We're gonna be doing a couple of videos. Got one video out, titled The Balance,
Okay.
already. So that's our latest video out musically, and we're gonna do a couple more from that album. Got some dates coming up for performance. I'll be in North Carolina on the 30th of this month,
Oh
Soul
yeah.
City, North Carolina,
Oh yeah.
to
Okay.
perform at the Ethiopian Black August Federation Day. Then the next day I'll be in Atlanta for the Raw Fest, uh,
Oh, all right.
performing there, and then next month, September 20th, I'll be back in ATL performing at a adult contemporary hip hop event. So
All right, man.
yeah,
I see you out there doing your thing.
yeah, I'm trying to get moving around here.
Yeah.
Hopefully, get out of the country. Perform outside here where lyrical content is still appreciated.
Yeah,
But
yeah, man.
slowly
Hey,
starting to come back here. But
whatever happened to that brother you used to know in North Carolina? He was connected with, I think he was a Muslim. He was a part of the
oh,
Brotherhood.
he was he part of the nation.
Yeah.
Larry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You still
yeah.
in
He's
touch with
from
him?
no, we haven't talked for a minute though, although he does get on my post every now and then. Yeah, he's in
Okay.
Fayetteville up there.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
wondering about him the other day when we was there earlier this year. I was
Okay.
like, dang, I have no way to get in touch with him though.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's still doing pretty good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see him pop up every now and then.
Hey, I'm working on a couple of tracks too, man. I'm gonna have to send you something.
Yeah,
Uh,
please do.
see what
Please
you
do.
see. Yeah, I've been honing my beat making abilities. So
Okay. 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 Yeah, we might have to get back in the studio soon for another spoken word piece.
hey, I'm ready, man. Let me know.
Okay. But stay in tune with us here at Real Life, Real Talk. Brother John, myself, Yarima Karama, will continue to put up this information. You can find it on John's YouTube channel, and you can get it definitely on my Patreon. And um, yeah, we'll continue to do our weekly thing and bring you information as we get it. And hopefully you can utilize this information and, pass along to friends, family, relatives, acquaintances, people that can,
Yeah.
that are seeking that can use this. And until next time, Brother John, we are out.